Krishna, everyone. Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Jaipal, and it's my great privilege to introduce His Grace Keshavananda Prabhuji. Dr. Keshavananda Prabhuji is a medical practitioner by profession. He is now a monk since last 20 years. He has done extensive research and has authored various books on both science and spirituality. For decoding the Sanskrit sutras of Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, Dr. Keshavananda Prabhuji learned Sanskrit and read Western and Indian philosophy. Besides Sanskrit, he also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Kannada to enrich his knowledge about the diverse spiritual traditions of India that are rooted in the Vedic wisdom. His persistent endeavor in the field of science and spirituality for the last 20 years has enabled him to come up with the seminars on diverse topics like science and Vedas, mind and machines, science fails to explain life, consciousness and beyond, etc. That he has been presented in various colleges in India, Europe, and America. He has also been able to he has also been able to open a Gurukula, a traditional system of Vedic education in a beautiful valley of the Himalayas, where children are imparted the wisdom of Vedas. Besides, he has also started a farm community based in the Vedic way of living to provide the model to entire world, to show how to lead the satisfied and happy life in harmony with nature and save precious time to ponder over the deep questions of life. The farm community name is Badrikashram, and it's a beautiful place. We are fortunate to visit when we were in India last time. In the last two sessions, Prabhuji has covered the essence of Sistastakam, and today will be the final class of his seminar. And Prabhuji has graciously decided to speak about the glories of Srimati Radharani. So please join me in welcoming His Grace Keshavananda Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. With this, I conclude the introduction. Please take over the call, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, fine. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Krishe Shunyavadi Pashadesh. Okay, so we are discussing. Anyway, I'll just recap. Last 2 days we were discussing Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, and largely I focused on the point in Chaitanya Shikshashtakam that this what is a mood of chanting that we discussed in last 2 classes. All the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are summarized and, let me say, compressed in Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. So that's why for Radha Ashtami, we have a special class on Radha Ashtami today. Glories of Radharani. Radha Ashtami later, but I'm just talking about glories of Radharani today. So, who is Srimati Radharani? Where's that verse? So who is Srimati Radharani? Chaitanya Charitamrita has a beautiful verse for Srimati Radharani, and it comes in Adi Leela, 4th chapter, 69th verse. And almost the same verse and same wordings are there in Ante Leela also. But this verse says Mahabhav Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. सर्व गुणवती कृष्ण कांता शिरोमणि. So this verse calls Srimati Radharani as Radha Thakurani. Now this is very important because so I'll tell you why this is important, but let's connect this verse to the last verse of Shikshashtakam. That's where I want to connect this. So 1:469. Mahabhav Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarv Gun Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. This is 1:469. Okay. So so what is the meaning of this verse? Mahabhav Sarupa. Who is Srimati Radharani? Mahabhav Sarupa. Now, what is the meaning of Mahabhav Sarupa? Now, every word of this verse is very important because this verse defines Srimati Radharani. So, who is Mahabhav Sarupa? What do you mean by that? Actually, generally, people take this Mahabhav Sarupa as something as something as something esoteric, hi-fi thing. I mean to say, where Srimati Radharani has become mad. It's so Mahabhav Swarup is a mad state of Srimati Radharani. Krishna Goswami gives many levels of love in Chaitanya Charitamrita. For us, our target is love, Krishna Prem. But even in spiritual world, people keep on advancing to various higher levels. Now you might say in spiritual world how people will advance, but people advance because there is no limit to love of God, and keeps on increasing. Chaitanya Charitamrita says there's a competition between devotees and Krishna, and the Leela comes. And when Srimati Radharani she sees Krishna, her love increases millions of folds. And by seeing the love of Srimati Radharani, Krishna's love increases millions of folds because he wants to reciprocate with her. And then there's a competition, Krishna Swami says, between the devotee and Krishna, between Radha and Krishna. And their love keeps on increasing. So you see, even spiritual world, so love is not a static thing, keeps on increasing. So that is why after prema, there are many stages of love. Krishna Kaviraj Swami reveals to us, although this is beyond our level of understanding, although this is a transcendental plane we are entering. But anyway, Rupa Goswami, Krishna Goswami, they inform us, after prem, there is man, sneh, pranay, yaman, sneh, pranay, bhav, mahabhav, and then adhirud mahabhav. These are beyond prema, stages beyond prema. Prem, man, was that man, sneh, pranay. This word pranay is there, which Krishna Goswami uses in Adi Leela, where Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says, so what's that verse? So Radha Krishna Pranaya Haladini Shakti Rekha. Yeah, that's the verse. Radha Krishna Pranaya Haladini Shakti Rekha. So there the word pranay is used, and of course in English you have to translate all these words as love of God. But this is so, but technically these are very different words, different levels of love. Radha Krishna Pranay. Radha Krishna are attached to each other with pranay. Pranay is a special kind of love. Oh, actually, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Haladini Shakti Rekha. So Radha Krishna ekatmana bhav api bhuvi pura deha ved gatau tau. So initially Radha Krishna were one. So how they were one? One with love. What kind of love? Here the love is pranay. Prem, man, sneh, pranay. This level of love Krishna Swami is talking. It's not an ordinary love. It is more condensed. It is more condensed love. So Krishna Swami gives that example of sugar cane. So you have sugar cane, then you have sugar juice, then you have molasses, and then you have a candy. It's more condensed. It's more condensed. That is Radha Krishna Pranaya Bikriti Haladini Shakti Deva. They were so they were joined. So they were one unit, Radha Krishna, and they were joined with Pranay, and then they separated. They became two. So you can see two Radha Krishna, but actually they are one. Srimati Radharani is expansion of Krishna. She is Haladini Shakti. She is Shakti of Krishna. So that Shakti of Krishna separated from Krishna, and that was given a form which is Srimati Radharani. That Shakti. And what that Shakti is, that is Haladini Shakti. This is Adi Leela 4, chapter 55 verse. So that Shakti is Haladini Shakti. Now Haladini Shakti means that potency of Lord which gives happiness. So if you take happiness, all the happiness of Krishna, if you take it out and if you give it a form, that is Srimati Radharani. That is why Krishna Goswami says Mahabhav Sarupa. Mahabhav. Srimati Radharani has all the happiness of Krishna. So now here an interesting question comes. When Krishna sees Radha, and when Radha sees Krishna, who is feeling more happiness? That's the question. If Radha is all the happiness of Krishna personified, then how can Krishna feel happiness? Because all his happiness is personified in form of Radharani. It's a big question, and this question is answered in the pastimes of Kurukshetra, where Krishna Kaviraj Swami says, when Radha and Krishna meet after a long time and they come face to face and see each other, then what feelings Radha has and what feelings Krishna has. So those feelings, to taste those feelings, what Radha feels by seeing me, to taste this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna descended in form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that's why this word says Chaitanya Akhyam Prakata Madhuna. So now Krishna has descended in form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To do what? To taste the happiness what Srimati Radharani feels, because he cannot imagine how much happiness Radharani, what she feels, because she is his own happiness. That's the whole point there. So that is why Srimati Radharani is called as Mahabhav Sarupa. Now that's one meaning of this word. But if you go to the core and base level, what do you mean by Mahabhav Sarupa? That is given by Krishna Goswami in the last verse of Shikshashtakam. Ashlishya padratam pinastum mam adarsanam mam karmarmatam karotu va. Okay, that's those verses of Radharani. So this pinastum adarsanam karmarmatam karotu va tata dhatulam pato mat prananatastu sevanapa. So large part of the lecture I'm going to devote on this verse, because we were talking about Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, and I want to link Chaitanya Shikshashtakam with the mood of Radharani. And that's more important. We have been talking about mood of chanting, our mood while chanting. But also we have to understand what is the mood of Srimati Radharani. for Krishna, because ultimately Gaudiya Vaishnava conception is to serve Srimati Radharani. Ultimately, that's the whole point there. Okay. So ultimately, that's the point. We, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are servants of Srimati Radharani. Or as Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, we are more inclined towards Srimati Radharani than Krishna. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, we are more Shri Vaishnavas than, so we are more Shaktas than Shaktas. And we are more Shri Vaishnavas than Shri Vaishnavas. So people who worship Shakti, Kali, we are worshipping the original source of Kali, Mahashakti, Srimati Radharani. So he's more Shakta, we are Shaktas. Although we call ourselves as Vaishnav, who worship Vishnu, but actually we are not Vaishnavas, we are Shaktas. So if you want to see the whole situation from Rasa Drishti, we worship Radha. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Radha Vina Krishna nahi mani. Without Radha, I don't accept Krishna. That's the amount of what do we say? Favor. So that's the amount of importance we give to Srimati Radharani. And we are more Sri Vaishnava than Sri Vaishnava. Because you see, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of Venkat Bhatt, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Venkat Bhatt, you see, who is higher, Lakshmi or Radha? So he said, well, both are same because they are both same. Vishnu and Krishna are same. Lakshmi and Radha are same. So Mahaprabhu said, no. Mahaprabhu said, then you tell me why Krishna was doing Ras Leela with Radharani and Lakshmi was not, and Lakshmi wanted to enter that Ras Leela. So that means Radha is greater than Lakshmi. So then Venkat Bhatt told, no, actually, you know what? Vishnu doesn't do these kind of pastimes of Ras Leela. Only Krishna does these kinds of pastimes of Ras Leela. So naturally, to taste those pastimes, Lakshmi wanted to enter those pastimes of Srimati Radharani, Radha and Krishna. So Mahaprabhu said, well, there's good logic. But I have another question for you. And the question is, okay, this is nice. These pastimes are unique to Krishna, so Lakshmi wants to go there. In Krishna's, Vishnu as Krishna, he does these pastimes, so Lakshmi wants to enter. But my question is, why Lakshmi was not allowed to enter the Ras Leela? Why she was not allowed? That's the point there. Then Venkat Bhatt told, oh my God, these discussions are going beyond human understanding. I don't know. He was confused. And Mahaprabhu said, more than that, not only Lakshmi was not allowed in the Ras Leela, more than that, she was told, if you want to enter Ras Leela, you have to leave your Lakshmi Bhavan, become Gopi. You have to become Gopi. You cannot come in this form as Lakshmi. So why is that? So Venkat Bhatt told, I don't know. So Mahaprabhu said, this proves that Krishna is greater than Vishnu from a neutral perspective, and Radha is greater than Lakshmi. And Mahaprabhu said, okay, for information, more than that, gopis do not want to go and meet Vishnu. What about that? If both Vishnu and Krishna are same, if Ras Leela and both are same, Radha and Lakshmi is same, then why Srimati Radharani do not want to go and meet Vishnu? Srimati Radharani can have same logic. Krishna does Ras Leela, but Vishnu is staying in Vaikuntha. Krishna in form of Vishnu is in Vaikuntha. That will be very interesting. I also want to taste that, but Srimati Radharani doesn't want to meet Vishnu. In fact, Srimati Radharani doesn't even want to see Vishnu, because she doesn't want to see any other male except Krishna. She doesn't want to do that. In fact, when Srimati Radharani sees Vishnu, picture of Vishnu, and then she sees picture of Krishna. She is not attracted to Vishnu. She is attracted to Krishna. Now that's the whole point there. Even Krishna himself, he cannot retain his Vishnu form in front of Radharani. That's the love of Radha. So Venkat Bhatt was completely confused. So Mahaprabhu said, okay, no problem, no problem. That this is, but Venkat, you should not be, so you should not have an offensive mentality. Don't think that that Radha is, that Lakshmi is inferior, because all gopis and Radha, they are also Lakshmi. Lakshmi sahasrasat sambrahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. All the gopis are Lakshmi, and Radha is Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi. So in Vaikuntha, there are three Lakshmis: Bhu, Neela, and Shri. There are three Lakshmis: Bhu, Neela, and Shri. Bhu is a personified personification of earth. Neela is a pastime, is a Lakshmi for conducting pastimes. So almost like Yogmaya. And Shri is Mahalakshmi. If you go to Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they will tell you they have three Lakshmis. But the main Lakshmi is Shri, Mahalakshmi. And these three Lakshmis are represented by three tantric syllables: Aim, Hrim, and Shrim. So Bhu is represented by Aim, and Neela is represented by Hrim, and Mahalakshmi is represented by Shrim. And all of them reside on the chest of Krishna. Andal, one of the Alvars, she was incarnation of Bhu Shakti. And that is why her father, Vishnu Chitta, he found her in earth. So when he was plowing the field, he found a small child within a pot. Srimati Sita Devi, she was incarnation of Bhu Shakti. And that is why Lord Janak, Janak Maharaj, he found Sita under the earth in a pot. So in fact, Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya, they are I think Vishnu Priya, she was so Lakshmi Priya, she was Bhu Shakti, and Vishnu Priya, she was actually in Shri Shakti, Mahalakshmi. But they were Lakshmi, they were not Srimati Radharani. Because who was Srimati Radharani? Gadadhar Pandit. And Krishna took the Kanti of Srimati Radharani and became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He covered himself by the Kanti of Srimati Radharani. In fact, when Krishna was meditating on Srimati Radharani, what she feels when she sees me, what kind of experience she has when she sees me, he by his complete focus of Srimati Radharani, his color changed. His color changed as Srimati Radharani. So, so one of the question is, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Gadadhar Pandit and Gadadhar Pandit saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what they felt by seeing each other? This is a question beyond our understanding. Krishna, in the mood of Radharani, he's seeing Radharani. Now how do you understand this? It's interesting. But anyway, I was explaining this Mahabhav Sarupa, Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is Mahalakshmi. You see, Mahalakshmi is Shri, and Srimati Radharani is Mahalakshmi. That's how we Gaudiya Vaishnavas see Srimati Radharani as. So Mahaprabhu said to Venkat Bhatt, you see, all of them are Lakshmis. So don't be offensive. You are okay. You worship Lakshmi, but we worship Mahalakshmi. That's the whole idea there. So that's the importance of Srimati Radharani. So she is Mahabhav Sarupa. Now by Mahabhav Sarupa, she has a bhav, which is, so Maha means great. Maha also means confidential. She has a confidential emotion which nobody has. Nobody, no Gopi, no Lakshmi, nobody has what she has in her heart. And what she has, that's the whole point. What she has, what kind of emotion and mood she has, that she is able to impress Krishna. She is able to attract Krishna. Shri Krishna Akarshanicha. Krishna who can attract the entire universe, millions of, Krishna who can attract millions of Cupid. That's how Krishna is described as. He can attract millions of Cupid. And that person is attracted by Srimati Radharani. You can imagine what. And just by 26 qualities. Srimati Radharani has 26 qualities. Srimati Radharani manifests 26 qualities. Isn't it 26 or 29? I think they are 26. I think so. In Vrindavan, they put a chart there. There 26 qualities. Krishna has 64 qualities. And Radharani attracts Krishna just by 26 qualities. That's all. She doesn't need more than that. Even by one quality, Krishna is attracted towards Radharani. Krishna is irresistibly attracted towards Radha. So much so, whatever he is doing, he's thinking of Radha. If he's playing with friends, he's thinking of Radha. If Yashodamanand Baba is playing with, he's thinking of Radha. All Sakheras, Vatsalyaras, Dasaras, all become very weak in front of Madhurya, especially Radharani. Radharani is so special that when Krishna was doing Ras Leela, there were 3 billion gopis. Krishna Goswami says, and he left Ras Leela taking Radharani with him. So Radharani, so once Radharani disappeared from Ras Leela, just as Krishna disappeared, and Krishna couldn't have any pleasure, and he also went after Radharani. So if you apply mathematics here, 1 against 3 billion, you can imagine. So what is the love of Radharani? Mahabhav Sarupa. How much Maha it is. How much great her bhav is. So if you apply mathematics, her bhav is 3 billion times greater than gopis. Because Krishna left 3 billion gopis for Radharani. So we can calculate her love is 3 billion times greater than gopis. That's how Maha is, her bhav is. You can imagine. And I just told he's Mahalakshmi. That's how Maha she is in comparison to Lakshmi. So we are dealing with Radha and Krishna. We are not dealing with some small personalities. We have to keep in mind. And we have to maintain our maryada also. So when we enter the realm of sweetness, we have to simultaneously keep in the back of mind, this sweetness is respectable for us. This sweetness is not relishable for us now. This sweetness is respectable. Puja la raga pat gaurava bhange. That's what Bhaktisanta used to say. Worship that platform of sweetness. Don't try to relish it now. Because you can't even imagine with what kind of thing you are dealing with. We can't even imagine by this human mind in this mundane platform. It cannot be imagined, by the way. We can talk something just like I'm talking. I'm just like talking like a child here. But we can't even begin to imagine. So Bhaktisanta says, Puja la raga pad gaurava bhange. Just worship that platform. In fact, so in Hera Panchami, in Jagannath Puri, at this festival, Srivas Pandit and Sarup Damodar, they were standing. And Srivas Pandit, just to tease Sarup Damodar, they were friends. So Srivas Pandit said, so Damodarji, I want to ask a question. So Sarup Damodar said, yes, Pandit, ask me. So Srivas Pandit, he said, well, you know what? Your Krishna, your Vrindavan, they are very dull places. Just trees, some cows, some dust. It's like a village. but my Vaikuntha, my Lakshmi and Vishnu, even the throne of Lakshmi, it is full of many jewels and mystic powers, riddhi and siddhis. That's opulence. How Vishnu is dressed, jewels and crowns. For Krishna is a big offering. So Saru Damodar said, Panditji, um, temporarily I think you have gone insane. You've gone mad, Panditji. So Sarudama said, I'll tell you the opulence of Vrindavan. Chintamani, Prakarasatma Sukalpa Vriksha. He said, Sarudama made a point. He said, you say Vaikuntha has so much opulences. And here I'll tell you, even a dust, even one particle of dust of Vrindavan. So he made a very interesting statement. He said, even a particle of dust of Vrindavan, if you pick it up and if you see, all Vaikuntha's are compressed in that dust. Now what do you say? Somehow. He says, that is Vrindavan. All Vaikuntha's are compressed in one dust of a particle of Vrindavan. And that, so and then he quoted Chintamani Sadmasu Kalpa Vriksha. Chintamani. That's the meaning of the word Chintamani there. The meaning of the word Chintamani there is not just that every dust particle of Vrindavan, it can fulfill all our desires. It's a very low level of meaning. The meaning is all Vaikunthas are compressed in that dust, in one dust. Why? Because in Vrindavan, the sweetness compresses and suppresses Aishwarya Bhav and it keeps us behind. It hides all the Aishwarya Bhav. No matter how many Vaikunthas you bring, the dust of Vrindavan will hide all of them. That power of sweetness Vrindavan has. And Srivas Pandit said, yeah, this is nice. He was simply teasing. He was simply trying to bring. So he was trying to make Sarup Damodar speak. So that is the word Mahabhav Sarupa. You see, Mahabhav Sarupa. Now I was talking about Bhava. I just explained the word Mahabhav. But now I want to go in the word Bhava. One secret mood Srimati Radharani has, who nobody has. No Gopi, no Lakshmi, nobody has. And what's that Bhava? That is revealed to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the last verse of Shikshashtakam. Ashlisheva padratam penastumam adarshanamar matam karotuva. Vedadadhava vidhatulam patomat prananatastu sevavnapara. So this kind of feeling Srimati Radharani has, which is almost impossible for any humans like us to attain. We can attain some shadow of that feeling, try to follow it, but that is what Srimati Radharani, that makes Srimati Radharani unique than all other gopis. And what's the meaning of this verse? Ashlishya va padratam penastumam. Ashlishya means Asha. Asha means hope. Ashlishya. So Srimati Radharani says, I have a hope. I have a hope. Now somebody might ask, okay, so what kind of hope you have? So Srimati Radharani says, I have a hope that mat prananadastu saivanapara, that Krishna will be my master life after life after life after life. But here's the condition. Va padratam penastumam. Even if he punishes me, even if I want Krishna, but he doesn't want me. So that's the meaning of Ashlishya. Even if I hope for him, but he doesn't hope for me, still he will be my master. I will keep on serving him. And then she says, but that's not enough. Va padratam. Even if he punishes me, even if he goes against me, that's the whole point, cheats me. That's what Radha says, padratam. Even if he cheats me, even if he doesn't any verification is a different thing. He punishes me, cheats me, still he will be a master. This is a very important. This is what Srimati Radharani showed in her pastimes. Krishna goes to Dwarka, Mathura. He promised to come, but he didn't come for so many years. Still, Srimati Radharani said, "Okay, no problem. Still, he's my master, life after life." Actually, we think it's a very easy thing. I mean to say, we think, Krishna left Radha and she's just tolerating some kind of, she's feeling some sorrow and she's saying Krishna is my master. We can also do that, but we can't do that. We can't even imagine what kind of separation Radha is feeling from Krishna. What kind of sorrow she is feeling from Krishna. That's sort of separation. In fact, Krishna Swami says, the greatest misery in this world is misery of separation from Krishna and his devotees. Greatest sorrow. So Srimati Radharani's sorrow is such that if even a particle of the sorrow of Srimati Radharani, sorrow in separation, even a particle if you take, that particle can burn millions of universe. That's the amount of sorrow she's feeling. And that is why, you see Vallabhacharya, so once he wrote a letter to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that letter, he wrote that all my devotees in my ashram, they are becoming very thin and weak. So Mahaprabhu replied him, "That's very nice." Because Mahaprabhu understood this is due to separation from Krishna. So many devotees says, well, Dhruva did a lot of tapasya, isn't it? He even stopped breathing air. What about eating? And all these various rishis, Kashyap Muni, Kardama Muni, millions and millions of years of tapasya. But what these Dhruva and Vishwa and these Kashyap and Kardama, they're not even babies in front of tapasya of Srimati Radharani and tapasya of Vrajvasis. Now, what kind of tapasya they were doing? They didn't leave breathing air. They didn't stop eating. They were feeling separation from Krishna. That pain of, to tolerate that pain of separation and still being alive, that is tapasya. That's the greatest tapasya. That's the tapasya Krishna wants from us. We can't do that. We can tolerate diseases. We can tolerate some kind of problems in preaching. That's our tapasya. Tumhara sevai dukh hoy jat sahi to parama sukh. In matter of preaching and service, what obstacles we face, still we keep on serving. That is our tapasya. But their tapasya, we don't feel Vrajvasis are doing any tapasya. Krishna Swami saying is, you a fool. That they're tolerating separation and they're keeping themselves alive. That's Mahabhav Sarupa. That's what Srimati Radharani says. Even if he cheats me, even if he goes away from me, even if he punishes me, how Krishna will punish Vrajvasis? By separating himself from them. That's all. He doesn't need to do anything. That's the punishment. If he wants to punish them, if he really wants to punish them, he never wants to punish them. But that's how they perceive his separation. When Krishna goes to forest, Yashodama feels Krishna is punishing me by separating himself from her. And she can't spend time. She hopes Krishna comes back. That is the punishment. So devotee says, "Oh my God, we are." You see, when devotee says, "Oh, we are. I'm getting problems in life. I'm getting diseases." So then we have to console him. "Oh no, this is plan of Krishna. Krishna is punishing you, giving you some reverses to teach you something." But that's nothing. What is this punishment? Real thing is separation, sorrow of separation. So that's Mahabhav Sarupa. Ashli Shava Padratam Pinashtu Mam. Pinashtu means crush by his feet. Crush by his feet. This sentiment Padratam Penashtumam. This shows extreme sort of separation of Srimati Radharani. So what Srimati Radharani is saying, even if I feel extreme sort of separation from Krishna, even if he separates himself from me, eternally, crush means eternally, still he'll be my master. I'll not be able to leave him. Now that kind of sentiment is very difficult because the person you are serving and he's trying not to reciprocate with you, and he's trying to crush you. So why do you want to serve him? So Srimati Radharani says, even if he sends me to hell, still he's my master. You see the point? That's very difficult. If your master tries to go against you, how do you feel? Tell me. That's the whole idea. Radharani says, if he goes against me, then what? It's a very difficult thing. If your guru goes against you, then what do you do? Tell me. If your guru plots to kill you, now what do you do? What do? You will immediately leave him. And he says, no, I can't leave him. All the gopis always advise Radharani, leave that Krishna. He's always cheating you. Radharani says, I can't even think of that. I don't know what has happened to me. Maybe I'm diseased. That's Mahabhava Sarupa, you see. Padratam Pinashtumam. Adarshanam. If Krishna, Adarshanam means if Krishna neglects me, that means so if you keep on chanting, if you keep on doing your sadhana and Krishna doesn't speak anything, Krishna doesn't reciprocate anything. And you have to do this for eternity. You have to do your sadhana for eternity and Krishna will say, I'll not reciprocate with you, no mercy, nothing. Do you accept me? Radha says, yes, I accept you. Now, you can't imagine such kind of level. How do you do that? Even in 4 or 5 days, we are going to say, what kind of person you are? Come on. You don't reciprocate, I'm rejecting you. In material world, this happens. You talk to somebody and if they don't talk back, you say he's a bad person. But that's not with Krishna. That's not with Radha. Vadatam pinastumam adarshanam marmahatam korotuva. Radha says, even if Krishna plays with my sentiments and he purposefully insults me, marmahatam, in front of all other gopis, in front of everybody, still I will accept him. You see, these are the things, if it happens in our life, if somebody does in our life, we will immediately reject him. If that person tries to kill us, if he tries to neglect us, if he goes against us, if he insults us, we'll reject him. But Radha doesn't do that. Radha says, I can't do. Mat prana nadastu sayeva napada. This is called love. The whole idea is Radha is showing the nature of love. Love demands obstructions. That's the whole idea, Rupa Goswami says. True love demands obstructions. Without obstructions, love cannot be called as love. That's the whole idea. Without obstructions, love is lust. And that is why Rupa Goswami says, that is why Krishna purposefully keeps millions of obstacles between him and his devotee. To check whether this is love or lust. If this is lust, he will leave him. If this is love, he will keep on continuing to serve Krishna. And that's how you test between love and lust, by putting obstacles. That is why Rupa Goswami says, in the definition of love, he says, even if there are millions of obstacles and millions of reasons, so not just obstacles. So what kind of obstacles? Such obstacles which will force you to leave Krishna. Even if there are millions of reasons and millions of obstacles to leave Krishna, and still the devotee doesn't leave Krishna, then that is love. You see, then that is love. So if Krishna wants to give you love, he will start putting obstacles in your life. He will make such a circumstance in your life that you'll be forced to leave Krishna, either physically or mentally. And still, if you keep on serving him, then he will say, this is love. There is no other way to check love. And for gopis and Vrajvasis, the greatest obstacle was leaving them to Dwarka and Mathura. And he did that. He did that. Not just for 1 or 2 years, for continuous 100 years. He was not there. And still they didn't leave Krishna. You can imagine. People will forget anybody in 1, 2, 3, 10 years or so. But he didn't. That is Mahabhava Sarupa. That is called Mahabhava Sarupa. So Ashli Shabapa Ratam Pinashtam Adarshana Maramatam Korotova. So this verse of Shikshashtakam, it is defining bhav, Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani. The true nature of love. That's the point I was trying to bring here. The true nature of love is full of obstacles. And then that love shines forth. So Marmatam Kurotova Yatha Tatha Vidhatulam Pato. So Srimati Radharani says, well, Lampato, Krishna is like that. I know. Who is to be blamed if Krishna deals with us like that? If he neglects us, if he punishes us, if he put obstacles in our life, who is to be blamed? Radha says, Lampato, that's his nature. I am to be blamed, not he. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, this discussion comes. Radha says, I am to be blamed. Why he is doing like that to me? Because maybe I'm sinful. Whatever he does, that is perfect. And I am to be blamed. My service is not perfect. That's why I have to be treated in this way. You see that, how can anybody imagine to do, you can imagine the love of, you can imagine the Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani. That's Srimati Radharani. In fact, Srimati Radharani, Sulalita Sakhi, she showed Srimati Radharani a picture of Krishna. And Radha says, who is this person? I'm getting attracted to this person automatically. I don't know why, but it's attracting me. And then Srimati Radharani was going with her friends and she heard flute of Krishna, the music. And she said, I'm attracted towards the flute music. Who is this? And then the Radharani and friends, they were sitting in a room somewhere. And then Lalita Sakhi, she said, there is a boy called as Krishna in Vrindavan, Nand Baba's son. And she said, what is this word Krishna? I'm getting attracted to this word Krishna. And then she was completely depressed. She said, I am an unchaste woman. I'm attracted towards 3%. What kind of woman I am? What kind of mind I have? Such a sinful mind. I'm attracted towards 3 males. One is Krishna, one person is playing flute, and this photograph of another person. What's happening to me? Then Lalita said, well, all these 3 persons are only one. You see? That's Mahabhava Swarupa. So this is the last verse. We can only hope to worship this platform. That's all. Even if you worship this platform, Radha means Aradhana. If we learn, we can follow the footsteps of Radharani in this context. We can try to worship this and try then to advance in devotional life. No matter what, we are not going to leave Krishna. That's the whole idea. So Mahabhava Swarupa, this is the verse. Mahabhava Swarupa Shri, what's that? Mahabhava Swarupa? Let's cover that. बंद हो जाता है. Yeah, Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. So why this word Thakurani is said? 1469 for information. 54 है 1469 Shri Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakuraniya. Okay, good. Thank you for that. So Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. Why this word Thakurani is there? Because you see in Rajasthan and Vallabh Sampradaya, this word Thakurani is used for Srimati Radharani. And even a Gaudiya Vaishnavas are using this word Thakurani. Now, why this word Thakurani with Radha? We generally don't use it. Am I right? We generally don't use with Radha Thakurani. But we have used Thakurani. Krishna Swami has used Thakurani here to make us understand that that she is a center point. Thakur means, I don't know how to define Thakur. Thakur in English, what Prabhupada writes Thakurani? In word to word meaning? But literally Thakurani means Thakur. It comes from the word Thakur, means center point, means the eldest. The eldest of the family is called Thakur. The eldest of the village was called Thakur. We used to control everything. Thakur has a sense of control. She is Thakurani. She is a supreme controller in Vrindavan. That's the point which Krishna Swami is trying to bring here. She is a supreme controller. She controls Krishna. Every pastime in Vrindavan is happening for Radharani. Every pastime, even Vatsalyaras, Sakheras, Daseras, it's all for serving Srimati Radharani. Even the dust particle of Vrindavan is serving Radharani. All rasas are serving Radharani. All rasas are there to nourish the interaction of Radha and Krishna. That's all. That's all is happening. That is why she is called Thakurani. In fact, Jiva Goswami has written a book, Madhav Mahotsav, where they were calling Krishna as a Lord of Vrindavan, Vrindavaneshwar. But Jiva Goswami says, but then there was a big Abhishek. And then Abhishek, Krishna was also there. Demigods came and they announced, well, this place, Vrindavan, doesn't have a king, it has a queen, Vrindavaneshwari. And Vrindavan was handed over to Radharani. All demigods and even Krishna. Krishna said, okay, it doesn't belong to me now, it belongs to you. The whole idea in that pastime was all the pastimes are happening for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. Even Krishna playing with his friends, that nourishes the meeting of Radha and Krishna. So when Krishna is playing with his friend in Sakhe Bhav, he's always thinking, when I will escape from my friends and meet Radha. So in that sense, Sakhe Ras is nourishing Madhurya Ras. So when he's with Yashoda, Nand Baba is always thinking, oh my God, I will escape from this of this my house and I will go and meet Radharani secretly. That's his mind. I will meet Radha secretly. But then there are obstacles on the path. So in other words, you see Sakhe, Dase and Vatsalyaras, they are actually putting an obstacle on the path of Madhurya Ras. If you can see from the other angle. Why they're putting obstacle? That's why I told the true nature of love is full of obstacles. And that, and then love is manifested. So Radha and Krishna cannot meet because of their parents, because of their friends, because of servants, or they somehow escape all these and meet. And that actually nourishes, that actually increases their happiness of meeting. So if there were no obstacles, then the meeting will not have so much happiness. So in that sense, all rasas serve Madhurya Ras. They serve Radha Thakurani. That's the whole idea. Mahabhava Swarupa, Shri Radha Thakurani, and the word Shri is used here. You see here? By the word Shri, they are saying Radha is Lakshmi. She is Mahalakshmi. Shri Radha Thakurani. She is Mahalakshmi. That's the whole idea there. So the whole idea, Krishna Swami is also informing us at our level, we should worship Radha as Lakshmi now. And Krishna as Vishnu at our level. Or in other words, at our level, we should worship the mood of Radha. and not try to emulate it. We should not do that. Krishna Goswami, he himself is saying, Sri Radha Thakurani. Bhakti Santa used to say, don't try to enter the camp of Radha. Don't try to enter the camp of Radha. Before you are attached to Krishna, before you enter the camp of Krishna. So he used to say, first become attached to Krishna. First serve him. Try to understand him. And try to enter his camp. And then he will redirect you in the camp of Radha. There is no other way. Sri Radha Thakurani, Sarv Gun Khani. But in fact, you see, the whole question is, does Radha think like that? As a devotee, we are thinking, Radha is a central focus of all the pastimes of Vrindavan, even of Krishna. That is Radha Thakurani. But does Radha think like that in her mind? No. Srimati Radharani, she is glorifying flute. She is saying, oh my flute, you are so fortunate that you are in continuous contact with the lips of Krishna and you are always with Krishna. We are not with Krishna. They are actually singing the fortune of a flute. Even the bamboos and Yamuna, even the bamboo who is your parents, they are also fortunate. But if you see the flute's position, as far as Radha is concerned, it's lower. It's in Dasya or Shant, maybe whatever. Srimati Radharani is glorifying Govardhan. Haridas Vare, Govardhan, you are the best of servants. Radha is saying, who is the best of servants? You see, Radha doesn't think in her mind, she is Radha Thakurani. So when Uddhav comes, so when Krishna sends Uddhav to Vrindavan, so Radharani asks him, okay, so what Nand Baba Yashoda is doing? Oh, sorry. So what? What's that? Yeah. So how is Krishna? How is his parents? Does Krishna think of Nand Baba Yashoda? Does Krishna think of his friends? Does Krishna think of his cows? Does Krishna think of his trees? And at the end, Gopi says, so does he think of us also? In the end, they put, you see. So Radha, in her mind, she doesn't think she's Radha Thakurani. She is thinking, I'm the servant of servant of servant of servant. Although she is the greatest of devotee. You see, that is why Mahabhav Sarupa Sri Radha Thakurani. Both are linked together. And even at that level, she's thinking she's the lowest. That's how do you do that? That's the nature of love. You can't do it artificially. That's Radha. That's Radha. Sarv Gun Khani. She has all the qualities. Sarv Gun Khani. Just by 26 qualities, she attracts Krishna. Just by one quality, Sarv Gun Khani. Khani means what? Khani means what's that? How do you translate Khani? Treasure or cave. So like Aladdin's treasure, isn't it? They were so that treasure was in a cave, hidden in a cave. So that's called Khani. She's a treasure of all good qualities. The Prabhupada will translate as mine. She's a mine of all good qualities. She's a mine of all good qualities. Every quality of Radha attracts him. Actually, Krishna Swami says not just quality of Radha, even Radha's silence attracts Krishna. Krishna Swami puts this point, even her silence attracts Krishna. She doesn't need to even manifest any quality to attract Krishna. Simply her presence, not just presence. Prabodhanand Saraswati in Chaitanya Chandra, he writes, simply the wind, if it touches the body of Radha, and if it goes, and Krishna feels it somewhere far off, he will be attracted towards Radha. Even the wind touched by the body of Krishna, Radharani's garment, not just body, it will attract Radha. That is what Radha is. We are dealing with something beyond a conception here. And we are happy to speak about this thing. I mean to say, with a lot of respect, we are speaking, we are trying to hear and speak this. Sarv Gun Khani, in the discussion of Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramanand Rai is telling many qualities of Srimati Radharani, and then he says, so there, and then he makes this point, even her silence pleases Krishna. She worships Krishna by her silence. All these qualities in Radha is simply for his worship. That's why she's having these qualities. Otherwise, she will just throw away all these qualities. She just have all these qualities are like one flower to worship Krishna. But she doesn't even need that. She can simply sit, and that's a worship. So you see, in this material world, we worship him by a lot of services, by chanting. But in spiritual world, Radha worship is how she just sits, and that's worshiping Krishna. It's very different. Even a glance, when Radha sees Krishna, Krishna feels she is worshipping me by her glance. That's Sargun Khani. Her every act is a worship. That's the whole point. Sargun Khani. Her every act. Sar means every. Gun means here qualities. Qualities are linked to actions. Khani means mine. Mine of what? Mine of worship. Aradhana. Her every act is worship of Krishna. That's Radha. Even abuse, even when she rejects Krishna, that is his worship. Krishna Kanta Shiromani. She is Kanta. You see? Krishna Krishna says Kanta. Kanta means what? Wife? What does Prabhupada say? Lover. Prabhupada translates lover. But yeah. Kanta is lover, not exactly wife. Kanta, she's a best of. Shiromani means best of lovers of Sri Krishna. Best of lovers. Shiromani means the head. Shiromani is the pinnacle. So what Rupa Goswami says, Shruti Shiromani, he uses this word. The Shiromani of Shrutis, that is Upanishads, they try to achieve even the tip of the nail of Srimati Radharani, but they cannot. Upanishads, even Upanishads, that's very interesting. Rupa Goswami says, even Upanishads are worshipping Radha. You see, they're very interesting. You don't find the name of Radha in Upanishads anywhere. Rupa Goswami Sama says even Upanishads are worshipping Radha. How he got this conclusion? That's very interesting. There is no, externally in Upanishads, there is no subject of love. It's all mukti. It's all dry. It seems dry. Or Rupa Goswami says even Upanishads, Shruti Shiromani. Shruti means Veda. Shiromani means the topmost Shruti, the topmost part of Shruti. Upanishads, even they are worshipping Srimati Radha. How Rupa Goswami got this understanding, we don't know. But these people were Shastra Nipun. Shastra Nipun, it comes there. Krishna Goswami says, these Rupa Goswami, they were Shastra Nipun, they are Mahabhagavad. So what do you mean by Shastra? Shastra Nipun doesn't mean that you know all the shlokas and all the Shastras. No. Shastra Nipun means that you are able to extract the essence of the Shastra. That's Shastra Nipun. Able to extract the essence. It's not necessarily you will know all Shastras. But Goswamis could extract the essence. Shruti Shiromani, they also worship Radha. Even Upanishads worship Radha. Nobody in this universe, nobody who is reading Upanishads, they will accept this. That Upanishad is talking about Radha and specifically love of Radha for Krishna. Come on, where is it? But Rupa Goswami, they were so expert, they could extract the essence of Upanishads and say, look here, Upanishads are also talking about love of Radha. It's the same in Srimad Bhagavatam. You see, first 3 verses of Bhagavatam is Sambandha Abhidhay Prayojan. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that in his book Bhagavad Marichi Mala. He says, okay, the first verse, Janmadyasyata Annavaditarata Sabhikeshwara, this is Sambandh. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, first verse. And the next verse is what? Dharma Projita Kaito Batra. That's a verse. Dharma Projita Kaito Batra. So that is Abhidhay. Abandon all cheating religion. And then what's the third verse? Prayojan. Vyasadeva immediately changes the subject. Nemaga. So Vyasadeva says, Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Padam Pratam Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So some acharyas, they say the first two verses are like dancing of elephants. So when elephants dance, it's so nice. It's surprising and it's nice. White elephants dancing, but you can't go near them. You'll die if they're dancing. They'll just stamp on you. But the third verse, Nigama kalpataru galitam phalam, pibatam bhagavatam amritadravasamritam, this is like dancing of peacocks. It is sweet but not shocking, and you can go near it. You see why? Because this verse is prayojan. Vyasadeva is saying, okay, first two verses, Janmadhyasya Swarat, Krishna is great, Krishna is autocrat, he's independent, he's a lord of all lords, whatever he wishes he can do, he's under nobody's control. This verse is establishing sambandha. Okay, this is Krishna and he's here, you're here. This is the verse there. But this is not sweet. This is defining Srimad Bhagavatam. And dharma projata kaitavatra nirmat sarora saranam, abandon religious principles, surrender to Krishna, that's okay. But why you have to understand all these things? Why you have to understand this? Because prayojanam, pibatam bhagavatam rasamalayam. You have to extract rasa from this. Don't be involved in this jannade annavaitratas abhigya sarat. No, extract the rasa. So Vyasada is saying people who are Mahabhagavat, who are great devotees, they are Shastra Nipun. They can extract rasa from all the scriptures. All the scriptures are talking about greatness of Krishna. How Krishna is great. That's the first two verses. And establishing pure devotion, the second verse. But what Goswamis and what is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam? Prayojan, it is trying to extract the rasa from all those scriptures and putting here in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Vyasadeva is doing, which an ordinary man cannot do. Only Shukdev Goswami, Shuka, he can do that. And Rupa Goswami, they can do that. So that's the meaning of Shastra Nipun. That's the meaning of Shastra Nipun. You have to reach to that platform of rasa. And then the form of the ultimate form of rasa is Srimati Radharani, whom we take shelter. Bhakti Santa used to question this, ask this, why do we want to extract rasa? Why, after all, why we want to extract rasa? Why Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalayam? So for our own selfishness? For what? So he answered, because we want to serve Mahabhav Swarupa, the essence of all rasas, that is Srimati Radharani, Sri Radha Thakurani. We want to serve the rasa, so we should have some kind of taste of that rasa. Otherwise, how we will understand what's there if we don't even have a drop of that, even a drop and drop and drop and drop of that? We can't even understand what's that. So you have to taste a drop of ocean to understand what's the ocean. Similarly, that's why Pibatam Bhagavatam, we have to taste rasa to serve Radha. So in this third verse, Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Phalam Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalayam, actually this verse is talking about Radha. Our prayojan is Radha. In a hidden form, Vyasdev is saying our prayojan is Radha. To serve him, her. And so this is what Raghunath Goswami showed us as Prayojan Acharya. Hey Radhe Vrajadevi ke chalalite. That's the whole idea Prabhupada used to say. So that is this verse, Mahabhav Swarupa Sri Radha Thakurani, Sargun Khani, Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Hare Krishna, I'll just stop here. So the time is up. Anybody wants to ask anything, you can ask. If there is anything to ask here in this. So I don't think so.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The call is now open for question and answers. So if anyone have any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. I mean, Radharani is beyond our conception to even understand. Thank you so much for explaining about her qualities. Prabhuji, now that Radhashtami is coming, and we don't have much temple programs now, what can you please guide us on how we can celebrate at
Yeah,
home?
Radha Ashtami is coming. Yeah, there is no temple program. How to do at home? Well, well, its best idea is you read on that day. You read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Delila.
Antilila, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that you read.
Hare Krishna.
That's the best thing you can do. Okay, anybody? Or we're going to stop here. Mahasarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sargun Khani Krishna Kanta. Very, very important verse. 1469. Any questions? Or we end up here or what?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, so you talked about Aslishyava Padaratam Pinastumam. And
Aslishyava Padaratam
yes,
Pinastumam.
Prabhu. So is this mood exhibited in the spiritual world? I mean, this is obviously you have been talking about the pastimes of the Lord when in the Vrindavan pastimes actually. How is this in the spiritual world, Prabhu? Do we have all this Paraki Rasa there, Jatila Kutila obstruction, and still Radharani? Are there obstacles even in the spiritual world, in the Goloka Vrindavan?
Yeah, in spirit, that's what I was talking. Spiritual world, Jatila, Kutila, even all rasas are putting obstacle in the path of Krishna.
In the spiritual world, I was thinking it was relating to pastimes in.
No. In the spiritual world, without obstacles, there is no definition of love. There is no definition of love. Love cannot exist without obstacles. Love cannot exist without. That's what definition of love is, and that is why people are afraid to love Krishna, because the path is full of obstacles. But those very obstacles bring out the essence of love, and it convinces Krishna, yes, he's in love with me. Otherwise, it's lust. Otherwise, in this material world, people love slight problem and then they leave. Am I right? That's the whole point there. So if there are obstacles in this world, there are millions of obstacles in spiritual world. And that's how their love keeps on increasing. So we should not be afraid of obstacles if we have started a journey on the path of devotion. We should be happy for that. This is a different path. This is a happy path, but it's also the supreme, highest path, Mahabhava Swarupa. So then you have to be ready for something. But those obstacles are relishable. That's the whole idea. They're relishable to a devotee who understands the nature of love. Then it's relishable. That's the whole idea. So it's almost like a female is pregnant, and in pregnancy it's so painful, isn't it? The stomach is so big. It'd be painful, and you can't walk. It's so heavy. You can't even go to bathroom. You can't sit. It's such a painful situation for 9 months, but it's so relishable. Every moment is relishable for the mother. Just feeling that there's a baby. But father doesn't have that kind of happiness. He was roaming around here and there. So who feels the pleasure of mother? That's why she's more attached to babies, their children. Similarly, same thing is there in this dynamics. That's fine. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so there's a question in a chat box. Was that in 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani, why are cooking is not mentioned? Well, 25 qualities. Yeah. 25 qualities. So is Sri Krishna Akarshani mentioned there? Last, so it is a 26th quality. Sri Krishna Akarshani. That's why I think I was thinking 2026, but anyway, 25 qualities. Okay, let's check it. Anyway, where cooking is not mentioned, because cooking is an art. It's not a quality. Cooking is an art. Radharani knows so many arts, like putting mehendi, by decorating flowers. But she makes Krishna happy. She's very expert in singing. Her speech is charming. She's very expert in joking, very humble, expert in executing duties, always calm. 25, she keeps, okay, the 25 qualities, not 26, I was confused. So why cooking is not there? It's an interesting question. She's expert in singing, so they could have told she's expert in cooking also. 25 chief qualities. So one of the chief qualities is cooking also, no? She cooks for Krishna daily. I don't know, I have no answer for this. I think you have to research. I think you have to, maybe Radhashtami, you can ask Radharani and she'll tell you. Or ask somebody who knows this. I can just guess because she got a boon from Durvasa. So in that context, probably it's not mentioned in 25 qualities. She got an extra boon in the past times from Durvasa, that from my boon, due to my boon, you can cook nice food stuff for Krishna. So everybody in Vraja, they think that Radharani's cooking is due to Durvasa and not due to Radharani. From the perspective of Vrajvasis. So from the perspective of Vrajvasis, this is not her quality. She has got as a boon from Radha. So that's why probably it's not mentioned here. It's my speculation, but I don't think so anybody has better speculation for this. From this. If somebody has better speculation, they can tell. If Hare Krishna Prabhuji, if I understand correctly, in your past lectures, you mentioned that we should approach Srimati Radharani first to reach Krishna. But today you mentioned we should approach Krishna to reach Srimati Radharani. How do we reconcile these two statements? How do we reconcile these two statements? You should. It's same. You should first approach Radha. Sometimes we say you should first approach Krishna. That's okay. That's the same thing, because in a sadhana avastha, we first approach Krishna because we can't understand Radha, and also we are also contaminated. We will have some unwanted thoughts against Radha. As a male, we will be thinking something else. As a female, we will be envious of Radha. Some crazy things. We are on a Mandali platform. So in sadhana avastha, we first approach Krishna. But when we are almost liberated, which that verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in Raslila last verse, Shraddhaya. So what's that verse? Raslila last verse. Shrunuyat. If you hear this Raslila, all your contaminations of heart will be destroyed. So I'm forgetting that last verse. What was that last verse of Raslila of Raslila? So Ras Panchadhyay, where there's 5 chapters of Krishna and Radha are mentioned, 5 chapters, and right in the end, Sukadeva Goswami gives a blessing there. I think I'm forgetting that verse, but anyway. So there is Gopi Geet, and then again Krishna. There's a song of separation, and then again they reunite and they dance, and the last verse where Krishna ends after these 5 verses. So so in the last verse, Sukadeva Goswami says, anybody who hears all these pastimes of Radha with Krishna, this Raslila, with faith, that's the word used, Shraddhaya, then all the lust will be destroyed in the heart. Now, but then here's a contradiction, because when we have lust and when we are so in such a down state, we are not allowed to hear Raslila, because by hearing about Raslila, our lust will increase. So Prabhupada writes, so Prabhupada comments on Shraddhaya. Oh, so here is a verse here. You can write that. Was this free? So how could these girls? No, it's a last verse. No. No. Krishna and the gopis meet for Ras dance. I think last verse is there. So does anybody know that that verse? I'm forgetting that verse. Samam bonam. Gopis search. Gopis meet Ras dance. Gopis search for Krishna. Gopi song reunion and Ras dance. Last dance. 33rd. 33rd, and I think that's last. This is 10:33:39. That's the verse there. 10th canto, 33 verse, 39th verse. And this verse is famous. Vikridatam vrajavadubhir idam cha Vishnu shraddhan vito anushraya datha varnayedva. So Sukadeva Goswami says, anybody, Vikridatam, anybody who hears about this krida, krida means about this play of Radha and Krishna. Vrajavadhur, Krishna with Radha. Shraddhan vito, which Shraddha? Anybody who hears Anushrunayat or Varnayat, or anybody who describes this, Hirdi Rogam Ashu Apahinoti, is all Hirdi Rog, the disease of the heart, disease of the heart will be destroyed. But Prabhupada comments that Shraddhanvita means when the person is almost liberated. Because without coming on liberated platform, you will not have faith that the dealings of Radha Krishna are devoid of lust. This faith, that is dealings of Radha and Krishna are very pure. When Krishna is kissing Radha, then there's no lust. It's pure. It's different. It's a different game altogether. When you have this faith, now to have this faith, you have to be liberated platform. Because if you are on mundane platform, if you see and if you read these kind of things, Krishna is kissing Srimati Radharani, and he's trying to take off her garments by force, immediately you will have mind get disturbed. How will you keep on reading all these things? So you should have faith when Krishna is doing this, when Radha, these things are happening, then there is absolute purity, there's no tinge of lust. But that faith will come when you're almost liberated. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Shraddhan Vita, almost liberated, all Acharya says. So that's the whole point there. That's the whole point. When you're almost liberated, when you are at the level of bhava or asakti, then you can take shelter of Radha. Then it is said, you first take shelter of Radha, and then you can attain Krishna. You say Radhe Radhe, and then you can make Krishna happy. But below this level, below the level of bhava, when you're not liberated, in anartha-nivritti nishtha ruchi, you have to first approach Krishna and understand his mercy and understand his qualities, his perfection. I told in last two classes, his perfection, his qualities, his mercy. And then you approach, slowly you will understand, slowly you'll become attached to Krishna, and slowly you'll develop service attitude, and then you will be able to appreciate Radha. If my so meager amount of love and meager amount of service can please Krishna, how much Krishna is pleased by Radha, you see, then you'll appreciate her. And then you can take her shelter. And then when you take her shelter and do bhajan under her shelter of servants of Radha, then you will attain Krishna. So that's the whole point. But by taking shelter of Krishna, you attain Radha. By taking shelter of Radha, ultimately you attain Krishna. That's how it goes. I think it's clear now. I just raised hand, sorry. So I think it should be clear. Isn't it? It's clear? Hare Krishna, I can't hear.
Wait.
Okay. You mentioned Prabhupada said first become attached to Krishna, but it's also said Gaudiya is a servant of Radha first. Okay, so I just did this. Hare Krishna, how did Srimati Radharani develop so much unconditional love for Krishna without even him reciprocating? How did she become unconditioned? How did she become? Well, she doesn't become the best servant. She is the best servant. In fact, Radha is Krishna himself. That's why I told. That's what the verse, Radha Krishna Pranaya, Vikriti Haladini Shakti Reva, Ekatmakau. They were one, but then they separated. Deha Vedhau, they became two. So Radha is Krishna, so she doesn't need to develop all these things. She is like that. Eternally, she's like that. That's the whole idea there. Okay, could you elaborate the point Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur emphasizing to be first in Krishna's camp? Oh, actually, I just explained this. I'll just explain this. Yeah. Sorry for repeating Jaipal question. I didn't see it earlier. Okay, fine. So, okay. I think that's over. I think everybody is done. Hare Krishna. Will I end up here, Naveen? Please?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.